Today we're going to learn how to use our calculator with our trig ratios. We'll find the ratio of the sides and we'll find the missing angles. First, let's set up our calculator. We need to make sure we are always in degree mode. So we'll go to the home screen. We'll go to settings by the number 5, to document settings. In document settings, you'll see angle, and you want to make sure it's in degree. The default is radian, but we want to make sure we're in degree. If you're not in degree, put it in degree. You have to go down and set as default or make as default and push OK. Once you've done that, you're ready to start calculating sine, cosine, and tangent, and its inverses. If you look at your control button, right below it, it says trig. If you push that button, that's where you'll find the sine, cosine, and tangent. Notice that there's some other functions. Those are the reciprocal functions we won't deal with. Below is sine -1, cosine -1, and tangent -1, which are actually the inverses of those functions. Those find the angles. The cosine, sine, and tangent are the ratio of the sides. The sine inverse, cosine inverse, and tangent inverse is how we find the angle measures. So we're going to find sine, cosine, and tangent, remembering that those are the ratio of our sides. Remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse using SOHCAHTOA. So it is a ratio of the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. And we usually leave it in a fraction when we do it by hand, but the calculator is going to give us a decimal. So it would be that fraction divided out as a decimal. So I'm going to find the sine. I'm going to highlight sine and push enter as 60 degrees. And I type that in. I'm going to go to 3 decimal places. I'm going to round to make sure I round correctly. And so that decimal actually represents the opposite over the hypotenuse side divided out. Now let's find the cosine to 3 decimal places. Make sure I round correctly. Now remember that that is the ratio of the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. And then let's find the tangent, which would be the opposite side divided by the adjacent side. And I also want to round to 3 decimal places there. And it is negative. I want to make sure I wrote that negative. So remember that sine, cosine, and tangent are actually a ratio of the side lengths in relation to the angle. Alright, so the inverse sine, cosine, and tangent are usually written with a little -1, but they can also be written as arc sine, arc cosine, arc tangent. So they can be written either way. And what it does is it takes that ratio of the sides, and when I put it in the calculator, the ratio of the sides with that inverse, it's going to give me the angle measure. So when we're doing it by hand, the ratio is a fraction. But on a worksheet, usually they'll just give us the decimal. So I'm going to go to my trig functions and I make sure I choose the inverse sine. And I'm going to type in the decimal, knowing that that's going to give me the angle measure for the ratio of those sides. Now, if I have the ratio of the sides written as a fraction, I can just type in the fraction. I want to round to the nearest degree. That means a whole number, no decimal points. And then for the inverse cosine, I'm just going to do the same thing. Remembering that the number they give me is the ratio of the sides, and the number that the calculator gives me is the angle measure. And then arc cosine, which is just the, or arc tangent, which is just the tangent inverse. And now I have all 3 angles from the given ratios.